Hey everyone, so some pretty big news today. I will be officially launching my Patreon at the release of this video. This Patreon is specifically focused on my content, and this is not a Patreon for coaching services or anything related to that. I'm still a coach through Go Stadium's coaching services, so if you are interested in specific one-on-one coaching, I'll link that down below on how you can sign up for me to be your coach. But if you're particularly interested in some of my content, this is probably the Patreon for you. My main justification for this is really because I get a lot of requests and questions about what lines I'm using, what are my new strategies and stuff like that, either through DMs or through comments or Twitters. There's two reasons why I don't give early access information to anyone. The first is really if I respond to someone's DM on this, then I'll have to respond to all DMs related to it, and it might not be fair to those that don't have access to directly message me. And the second and probably most important reason is that if I just tell someone what line I'm using, it doesn't mean that they'll use it well or use it the way I'm using it or be able to succeed with it, because I'm giving them very little information besides just what my general lineup is. As you can see from a lot of my videos, I go pretty detailed in terms of the matchups and how I perform with those lines, and so without that accompanying knowledge, I won't really be helping people too much by just telling them what 3 Pokemon I'm using. That being said, I'm aware that whenever I release certain lineups, the effectiveness may decrease to a degree because people will understand how to use it but also how to counter it. So due to those various factors, I have created this Patreon for people to have access to those lines a little bit earlier than everyone else and to kind of test some things out before it kind of hits the masses. However, I have a maximum capacity on the 2 top tiers that have early access to these special lineups, mainly because early access to these lineups won't be as useful if a bunch of people can sign up for them. Now, for those that might be concerned about my regular content on YouTube and all the free content I upload, do not worry, that will not change in any way, shape, or form. The content that I've been creating and the trends of those will continue to remain free, of course, and I won't be delaying them by any extreme measure just to give a bunch of content to only patrons. Maybe you have a question on what I'll be using the money for or why am I charging people for a service in general. To be perfectly honest, it takes quite a bit of time to make most of my videos and do the research, and it takes a lot of time to figure out a lot of these strategies. Each one of my videos will often take 6 to more than 12 hours for preparation, editing, production, all those things. I'm making probably about $1.50 to $2 an hour from YouTube revenue. So for the majority part, most of the work I've been doing is for free, but I would like to generate a bit of revenue to upgrade some of my video equipment and kind of my production setup. And so let me just show you kind of what I'm working with at the moment. This is pretty much my setup. So I am working off of a coffee table with the mic stand box as essentially prop up my computer so it's angled properly, and then I just do one of my spare phones on the screen right there just to show you where my phone is usually sitting for recording, and that's my mic. And so obviously the equipment can definitely be upgraded to a degree, and on top of that also I've had quite a bit of crashes with my computer because of the amount of work I'm doing on the editing softwares, and I've had to reshoot and re-record a bunch of videos because of that. So I would like to upgrade some of my software and computer equipment as well. Hopefully down the road this will allow for even better content, and thinking really down the line as well, if I were to transition to doing this on a full-time basis, I could obviously create more content, but I would need some funding in order to do that. So this is pretty much the start of that, and this is not for you. That's totally fine. I know that the majority of people probably won't sign up for this, and that's okay. Like I said, I'm not going to change my content creation in any way, shape, or form for the public. That being said, I'll go over my tiers real quick just so you have an understanding of what they are. At the Claymate tier, it's really just to pitch in and help support me on my goal of content creation and to fund some potential future equipment. On top of some Patreon only updates, you'll also have early access to merchandise that I'm creating down the road. At the second tier at Anti-Meta Agent, you'll have access to Patreon exclusive Discord channels as well as exclusive gameplay and behind the scenes footage. So I'll be uploading some battles throughout the week, and some of that might be kind of my live reaction to how I'm battling, or to go over some additional matchups that I didn't cover in some of my YouTube videos, mainly because the YouTube videos can only be so long, and so I have a lot of extra footage that I don't end up covering a lot of times. You'll be acknowledged on all my YouTube videos, and I'll share some of my initial thoughts on Go Battle League and Silph Arena metas. At the third tier, it's Meta Breaker, and this is limited to only 30 people because, like I said before, early access to these lines are particularly valuable if less people know about how they work. On top of early access to the full strategy guides, you have at least 24 hours of early access to my YouTube videos related to strategies before I make them go public, and you'll have early access to at least 2 of my Go Battle League strategies per month, as well as early access to at least 1 of my Silph Meta strategies per month. And then at the very top, it's the anti-meta kings and queens. Because of how much information intensive this tier is, it will be only limited to 3 patrons. You have insider information on my team building process and kind of what I'm playing around with at the moment, even if it's not an official strategy I have fully developed up yet, you'll have a spot on my friends list so that way you can kind of test out how my strategies are working at the time. And I'll also dedicate one video per month on my YouTube channel covering your matches either in Go Battle League or Silph Arena or some tournament run. For those that do sign up for Patreon or those that don't, I have also started my official Discord server. Even if you're not a patron, you can definitely join the Discord. There'll be various different chat channels where you can kind of meet other people, exchange friend codes, battle with people, and kind of be a great place to hang out. I also have a section in the Discord just for cat picks, so if you want to see some cat picks, you can definitely join just for that. However, if you do decide to sign up for my Patreon and you're not in the first clanmate tier, please do not join Discord before you sign up. Once you sign up through Patreon, it'll automatically link your account through my Discord, and that way you'll have access to the exclusive channels for my patrons only. I'll link my Discord server link down below. And like I mentioned before, this is absolutely not a coaching service. If you do want one-on-one coaching through me, that is through Go Stadium. I just want to make sure that the distinction is very clear between this Patreon versus the Go Stadium Patreon where I do coaching. Regardless of if this Patreon is for you or not, I just really want to say thank you to all of my subscribers and followers. Honestly, I never thought I'd get this far on YouTube, but I really appreciate the support I've gotten, and I hope to continue making content that you all enjoy. Feel free to subscribe for future content, and I'll see you all next time.